Hi, witchy friends.
Good evening, witches.
Hi, Tracy.
We could see her message before we got on. We have no idea how that's possible, but
Yeah,
we love that. Yes, super cool. So tonight, we are talking about things related to Easter because it is Christian Easter coming up. We went over the Astar stuff last week.
Yeah.
I love Astar, you guys. I love all the things. I love all the things with Astar, especially because when you go in the store, everything there is pretty much paganism. And then and then there's also some crosses and like Jesus loves you kind of stuff. But it's a lot of it is truly like the pagan stories. It all relates to that. So I just love it. I love Astar because of that. But tonight we're going to talk about, I felt like Mr. Rogers just then. I don't know why. Did he say that?
I don't know.
Tonight we're going to be talking about.
I think you need a red sweater for that.
Yeah. It's more about how we maintain ourselves in our practice and still do things that are outside of sometimes it's our comfort zone, sometimes it's our belief systems, but it doesn't mean that we have to just totally shut ourselves off from people who believe other things. That is a crazy thing to do, I would love to say that I have friends of all the religions, but I don't because I'm a recluse and I don't have a lot of friends to begin with. So to have them in different religions would be very difficult. But as you explore yourself in your own practice, you should expose yourself to other religions to see, because a lot of us, man, there's a tangled mess going way back of how we all started with different places and people and things. So Don't be afraid to celebrate. We're going to name it Christian Easter right now because we have pagan Astar maybe, but don't be afraid to get out there and celebrate it. It's not like somebody's going to come and revoke your witch card or do something crazy and be like, you're a witch and you're at an Easter dinner. Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. This is what people do when they want to get rid of witches. What's the witch thing to do when you want to get rid of something else? It's not in my blood. I don't know. But that's the thing for people to start to feel really guilty about participating in other people's practices, dinners and stuff. And I just want to let you guys know it's not a problem.
Yeah. And I also think, I just read this on one of the witch groups that I follow. Somebody's working at a store and this man and this woman come in and the girl that was writing about it, she's like, I have tattoos and stuff. And she felt them like judging her. And so it was like really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, but at the end, when they left, they were like, Jesus loves you. And she's like, it just made her so uncomfortable. And I can understand that, but I think that because I'm like anti-religion, but I think some people are, I don't think everybody, when they say that, is being like condescending, or I think it could be genuine. And so what I wrote was just, respond with compassion and kindness and surprise them by saying, thank you very much. That's so kind. And it's disarming when you do that to somebody who's expecting you to get all like pissy about it because I believe there's room for all religions. I mean,
there is at the table.
So, and even though our beliefs might not be the same, that there's no reason not to be kind to everybody, which I have learned late in life that that's a really good thing to do. After years of being resting bitch face, standoffish, aloof.
Let's be like more gentle with you. It's okay.
Aloof with people. I've discovered the beauty in actually being kind to people and how it makes me feel to do that, because it gives back. That kindness that you give out, for me anyway, that's my experience. The kindness that I give out, I get something back from that. And that's just the feeling of spreading the kindness and then seeing how people react to it.
Yeah.
It's really lovely. So
I love that. Yeah. I guess I think that I do not want somebody else telling me how I should celebrate. So I'm not ever going to tell anybody else how to celebrate. I mean, even within the witches world, right? We all do things a little differently. There's things we're attracted to, stuff we're like, nope, that's not for me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I think all of religion or all of belief systems, because religion is more of that organized, structured thing. And that's why Kat is so anti that, because when you have authority figures, what can happen? They do not so great things. But if you just had people coming together that believed things and then disbanding and nobody was really in charge of that thing, maybe there wouldn't be so much to be worried about. But authority, when we put people in authority, it can just naturally happen. And that's not just in religion, but that's in all
business
systems.
Yeah,
because
sure.
I was going to say like police force, right? Like
absolutely.
When my kid was young, he was so distrusting of police. I'm like, I wave to all of them. What do you mean? I'm prior military though. So like for me, the police officers that I've always known have been upstanding people. And then I learned that there are ones that are not. And I was like, okay, all right, I get it. People are people. And their job doesn't always decide the kind of person they're going to be. We decide that. I'm so sorry. I just hit Tank. I'm so sorry, puppy. I didn't know he was sleeping at my feet. Oops. We just posted a picture on Facebook right before this because Tank's like, I'm here and he thinks it's ready to go play ball and do stuff. And I was like, no, buddy, we got something to do first. So he's just at my feet. If he had the ball, he'd have it in his mouth. Okay. Moving right along. I want to say hi to everybody. Brianna, Tracy, Kristen, Selena. Mwah. Hi, you guys.
Hi.
So happy to have you guys here. And if there's any questions, because we're just going to be like throwing out ideas at this point. And it is Easter weekend. And tomorrow is the day that we celebrate that Jesus died. My husband says it's called Good Friday. But that is the two things go together. He was
crucified. He died, but he was crucified. That's a little bit of a difference.
Well, I never knew what Good Friday really meant. And then when my husband told me, I'm like,
why did they call it
for that?
Why did they call it Good Friday when they nailed a man to the cross?
Well, because anyways, I'm not here to talk about that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about how to.
But congratulations to you if you get Good Friday off, because I don't.
Yeah.
If you're in an industry that is like as 47 holidays a year.
Everybody just shed a small tear or play a small violin for Kat. She never gets any holidays off.
6 the majors.
All the time. I ask.
Yep. I don't get all those holidays off.
It's crap. I want to hang out with her and, screw off. But, so right now we're going to talk about ideas on how to bring in your witchy pagan side to an Easter dinner, whether you're hosting or you're going somewhere that is pretty inconspicuous. And a lot of our stuff is probably more for if you're holding it at your house, but it can also be for like if you're making dishes or if you want to bring somebody a gift, possibly, like just depending on how into. Some people love crystals, but they're not witches. They can totally get that. I mean, there's people who like protection, but they're like, I'm not a witch. No, I just have crystals in my house. That's not a thing. So you can actually gift some things and bring them to their house so that, the whole vibe there is good. I'm going to start with probably the hardest part, that when I'm training new witches, they have a really hard time blessing things, because what we taught growing up is like popes and people of higher power bless things, right?
Yeah.
Holy water or whatever.
Yeah, the priest, I grew up Catholic, so
yes,
the priest consecrates.
That doesn't even sound like an appealing word. It doesn't even sound fun. Please, we're going to show you how to bless something. This is really easy and anybody can do it.
So this is our fake Easter dish.
It's not fake. These are tomatoes from my garden. They're totally fine. Look at them.
Yum, yum.
Listen, cut these guys up and put some salt on them and they're ready to go as a snack. But as a food dish, actually, you'll have to hold it. Okay. Now this is going to feel really weird because now it feels like a ceremony. But I can't hold it and describe everything. Okay. Say you make a dish or you're bringing something to a house. And this could be any time of the year, but specifically we're talking about Easter because a lot of people are getting together. And this is a time when family is really trying to be grateful and come together and, in the Astar thing, celebrate life, The reason that the resurrection was put during this time is because the world was waking up for spring. So to bless something, there's two things that are sort of happening. You don't have to like touch it and look like you're, totally vibing out on it, but your thoughts going into it. It's like, I feel better, like I'm directing energy from my hands. And all I'm saying is like words inside my head, but I'm also picturing colors, or you can picture little emojis, whatever it is that gets that feeling to the food for you. Is that heavy? Because it was heavy when I was.
Yeah, it is. I'm like,
I can tell your heart is dropping. Okay.
It's like, I have to remember to keep it in the frame.
Yeah. So to just say a prayer over your food, it's okay to use the word prayer, but to say a blessing, to say a gratitude over your food is just, for me, I close my eyes and I imagine people eating it. And I'm thinking that as they eat it, they're going to feel the love, compassion, the healing, the protection, whatever the intention is that I want to set for the dish, that is what's coming through for them. And I close my eyes so that I, drown out the world. And I just really feel the feeling. And then I imagine it flowing through my palms into the food and just being like, when everybody eats this, they're just going to be like, this is divine. And I'm so happy. And like, oh, we're having a great time. Like, that's what I think. That's it. That is blessing your food, blessing a dish, your drink, whatever you want to. It's as simple as that. You can stay with that feeling for as long as you want to, but it's so easy. It doesn't require you to buy anything extra. It just requires you to be in that moment of devotion for a little bit. You want to do it for 10, 15 seconds, 30 seconds. You want to sit with it for 15 minutes. I mean, it is up to you. How stressful is the situation that you're going into where you might need to think about, you're trying to help everybody be in the vibe of happiness, because that's what you're spreading through the food. You're up next. I talked for like 10 minutes, I feel like, already.
Okay.
Oh, this is stirring in stuff with.
We don't have a stir, do we?
No. It was more of a description.
Okay, so imagine you're going to make a nice sangria.
Oh yeah,
sangria. White sangria for
Easter.
For Easter, right? So clockwise
is
Witter.
That's Wittershins is backwards.
What's the other one?
When we go it's just clockwise and then Wittershins. I don't know the other.
So stirring in. So stirring clockwise is bringing something in,
building, growing, bringing something in,
like the waxing, like the waning. No, the waxing moon. Sorry, I'm getting my words messed
there.
up.
So
I've only had 2 sips of wine too.
If you want to stir in the intention of something, this is a good way to do it. If you want to build health, wealth, prosperity, healing, whatever it is, friendship, maybe there was like bad blood the last time the family was together, stir in that intention of like, we're going to grow together. We're going to have meaningful moments. This is going to be a happy, awesome time. We're going to make great memories. Now, say, it's going to be stressful because people were already fighting like 2 weeks ago and you want to relieve the stress. What are we going to do when we're stirring the dish? We're going to go Wittershins or counterclockwise. So we're reversing the stir for it because we want to say relieve, take away, alleviate. As people eat this, their anger dissipates, their conflicts go away, their judgmental faces go away. Like whatever that is, you're going to stir counterclockwise, which the fun word for that is Wittershins. I love it.
Wittershins.
Is it with I say shins with an N, but you say M.
Okay.
You can look it up online.
So next, because she talked through the whole one and I didn't. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a dish. This is like 35 years old. Jamie's like, is this from...
I pulled this out of the cover. You guys know how I am. Listen, if you remember past meetings, I got the old plastic spoon I used to get swatted with.
She's like, I have to buy you new spoons. I'm like, why?
For you now, because if I admit I've been spinning. And then this same dish set from when I was like 16.
Yeah,
I'm 43, 2,
40.
Can't remember. 43. Yeah. So this dish, holy moly!
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
So what we're going to talk about with the dishes is drawing.
Energetic drawing.
Okay. So you could, I think one of the other suggestions we're going to have is actually paint rune symbols. But for this, you don't actually have to do something on the dish.
You don't have to alter it.
You can use your finger to draw a protective, like a
rune, a symbol,
a
word,
a pentagram, anything that you want.
Yeah.
And the same thing, like Jamie was saying, when you're doing that and you're doing it for a specific purpose, like to bring in an energy or to get rid of an energy. You don't want people to come with their bad moods and their problems and their drama and stuff. Then you put your, just like you said, you close your eyes, you think about it, you visualize it, and then you make that symbol of that thing and you say the words in your head or out loud to transfer your energy into this object.
It's the intention of it.
Yeah.
And for me, we're going to get into colors later too, but when I'm envisioning, because some people have a hard time creating the the vision in their head of what it's supposed to look like for something. So for me, sometimes it's a color, a sound, it's words, it's a situation, like a whole little movie that I can see for it. So in whatever way that you choose to visualize it, it's not wrong. It's just you could literally just think of the word that you want, like happy, and you're just sitting there with it, with the plate, and maybe you draw it out on the plate, happy. And we did it on the bottom of the plate because, you could wash your hands and clean everything really well and do it on the front of the plate. That's fine. Just wash your hands.
The other thing you could do is like you could envision your family all getting along and having a good time.
Yeah.
So that you're like bringing that whole, what you think about, you bring about.
What you think about, you bring about. We want to eliminate fear and increase gratitude.
Yeah. Okay. Cinnamon. So what are we on to?
Cinnamon and clove.
Cinnamon and clove.
Yeah, this is just like, I almost wanted to say a PSA. This is a WSA, a witch service announcement. Clove and cinnamon are very popular during big holidays. They go into a lot of dishes. And Kat and I looked up the dish that's pretty big on Easter, and it said ham. And I remember seeing hams with the little cloves in it, right? Mm-hmm. So clove is that protection, and it's also love. And then cinnamon, whatever it's in, that is protection and healing. So when you use those two spices, as you're using them, blending them, eating them, you can think about those specific words for it. Both of them are protection, so that's easy. But cinnamon is more healing. Think about the fire that closes a wound, because cinnamon is supposed to be a hot spice. It's not to me, but think about the fire element of cinnamon closing a wound. Like if you were to, what's that thing called when people burn things closed? Back in like forever ago.
Lancing, searing.
I don't know. Whatever that
is. Is it lancing?
Called.
No.
I'm not a medical person.
I don't know. I don't remember.
But when you close a wound, right? That's what you can think of cinnmin as, that fire element. That
this is like the old days
healing.
Before they had stitches, where they got a knife hot and they like.
Nobody had time for stitches. They were like
they didn't have anything to stitch with.
So
it's called what?
Cauterization. Thank you, Raven. Yes. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. I love it. You guys are always so good to us when we don't know the words for things.
Exactly. Thank you.
I can describe it. Don't know the word. So the cauterization, which would bring about healing, think about cinnamon as that. It helps close and heal a wound. It is an herb of fire, just like clove is. But clove is more about that love and passion. So I'm only mentioning it because those two spices are really commonly used during Easter. So now you have two spices you can look for and that you know of, and you'll be like, I can cauterize my wound and heal. Thank you, Raven. Or I can have the cinnamons that was healing week, and then clove for love, be like, well, that's harder for me to say. I don't eat meat, but you're having that piece of ham and you're like, love.
Well, and as you're, if you do the cloves,
and
so my mom always made the ham with the pineapples and then the cloves in it. And so if you do that, then as you're putting them in, you can think about what you want out of that, what you want people to experience and feel when they're eating that meal.
Love,
you want
to
feel love and protection and peace, and
like here, the togetherness, right? When we're banded together in groups as the human part of ourselves, not the spiritual part of ourselves, that was for survival. So that really goes well when we get together and we do feasts like this, an Easter feast and a Star feast, whichever. You're banding together for protection, survival, so that you're not alone and like without any help. All right, moving on. We're going to talk about adding sticky notes, stickers, pieces of paper with tape, construction paper. Like the limit is your imagination at this point. But one of my favorite things to do is to add elements to my decor, my dishes, my candles.
Bottom of your candle.
The bottom of the candle. That's the one we're going to talk about specifically. But just think of all the ways that you could actually use this. I have things taped to the underneath of my actual table in some of my rooms. And I do this to bring about a feeling. Nobody else needs to know it's there for it to work. Nobody needs to know. This is about your magic and what you're bringing into the space. So what I did was we improvised. You guys, we just want you to know, we didn't buy anything to do these. This is like all stuff gathered from around the house. We like to reiterate that. This is some clearance stickers from Hobby Lobby, and they're for like journaling and stuff. And what I told Kat is, since she didn't have any Post-it notes.
I don't have any Post-it notes, or I don't know where they are.
I have too many Post-it notes and I don't even know why. So we just have this sticker. It is literally just says like reminder. It's meant for a journal. That's not what we're going to use it for. We're going to stick it to the bottom of that candle. And then we're going to put some kind of symbol on it so that we can say, you know, or just a word. Words work great. Words hold power. You can write a word. So I want to put, when we burn this candle, what do I want to think about? Fresh jasmine. I'm going to think about health. Jasmine always makes me feel like I can breathe better. So all I did was, oh my Lord, the light is about health. I just wrote health on the bottom of that. So now every time you go to light the candle, you're just like, health, bringing in good health, you know, the flow of energy for that, like, so that everybody can breathe easy, feel good, you know, not get too intoxicated or too stuffed or whatever health is for you. But you can add whatever word you want. You can add a symbol, a rune, you know, your own sigil that you make. But then it's in your environment. Nobody knows it's there. And it's your own magic concealed for the events that you're doing. You know, some people do like the centerpiece things. So I was thinking like you could carve into them if it goes on the bottom, but the glass jar thing's so much easier.
And since we're talking, we're going to talk about runes because we have other runes, places where you can hide symbols, where you can hide symbols, and so nobody, creative. You can get super creative. Like you could put something here. You could write a whole word, kind of like when you do on a candle, and nobody would ever see it, and they'd be using the dish, and they would not even know that.
This says due later, but that's because I'm going to buy her a new set of these since this is 50 years old to do this later.
Don't talk about my dishes.
But it's, you know,
there's
just ways that you can hide stuff. I know. Listen, I'm like, who made this? Because do they even know it lasted for? Yeah, it lasted for like 40 years. Yeah. All right. I brought out the bamboo one because if you guys have, you know, been on Pinterest or any of the witchy sites, you'll find people who actually burn in stuff. You know, they'll have like symbols. They'll make it look super witchy. It'll be like a kitchen witch kind of thing. And you can do that yourself. You can draw on things. You can add paint to it. The color magic is where I always go to because it's just the easiest. You could literally have the ones that are like dipped in a color. Boom, done. It's pink. It's love. This is your love spoon. I had to do that. I don't know why I felt like it. And I guess I grabbed out these two. I didn't think you had enough utensils, but thinking of ways where you could hide symbols, carve into it, mark stuff up for you that only you really know what the meaning is. Somebody else might look at it and go like, oh, that's really interesting. Okay. And they just serve their food and move on with their day. But you know what it means. That's the purpose of all of that. Yeah. All right. Oh, now is like for anybody who's lost people. Okay. Like my father passed, I don't know how many, 2011. So 13 years ago. Holy Lord, that feels forever. So my husband's father passed last year. You know, we've had his daughter pass 6 years ago. So we have people that have passed over, and he knows from me that I do, like, you can call it ancestor, family, whatever you want to call it, but an altar towards the people who are not able to make the feast that you're going to. And it's really simple by getting small pictures of them, maybe a small tray or a plate. And the things that you can add that are really normal is, you know, one candle for each person or just one candle for all of them. And then usually for us, we add in, I know it's a Samhain thing to do like the deaf dinner or the, you know, the dumb dinner, the plate, the silent dinner. There's lots of words for it. But I just put food in a little dish for them and like think about them being here, like honoring that they're already crossed over. And also it's so I can ask them for help later, be like, remember that dinner I gave you at Easter? Yeah. So it's time for you to like pay back. But it's a way to like set out and say, we still honor those who have crossed over. And we wish that they were here with us. So I don't think that anybody would truly take offense to that. I don't think that they would question the food thing. I don't think they would question the candle. They would just be like, oh, wow, you're really feeling it. And be like, yep, I am. And this is what I'm doing for it. They don't have to know that it's part of any other kind of practice, just something that you feel like you want to do as an offering. Then that same plate, you can set it outside and offer it to whatever creature strolls by, bugs, whatever, you know. That's what I do with mine. I don't throw it away. I just set it outside and like let nature take its course, whatever it is. Nothing dangerous, I guess, either. I don't know. Yeah. I don't really eat anything that would be like, animals can't have that or shouldn't. They're getting their Easter feast too, I guess. So that would be some kind of ancestor altar or like a family altar, missing loved ones altar. It could be friends, family, pets, whatever you're feeling at that time. It's just a way to honor them that I don't think anybody would question. Because who's going to be a dick and be like, why do you got, Aunt Susie up here with a candle? Like, what's that about? Nobody's going to do that. You're just be like, oh, that's so nice you thought of her.
Because they're not total a-holes, usually.
Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to question that.
All right. So now I think our next one is going to be something that you can put. All right. Let's imagine you're having people over to your house and they're going to come through your front door, I think, or whatever door. And you want them to leave whatever negative energy it is, whatever crap they have outside that door as they come in. So we're going to make a little protection jar, I guess we call it.
Protection jar, amplifier. You don't have to have a name for it. You just know what these elements do. So Kat is doing salt, and she's literally doing like the table Morton salt. Look at it. You can't see it smoking. But
and then, oh gosh, I don't know that I have rose quartz, but I'm not sure it's
too big.
I have some smaller pieces. I wanted to put rose quartz in there because rose quartz is for love. So we can have these. You could make little things like this. Yeah. Okay. We're not going to be able to use the We're not gonna be able to use the rose quartz.
No, I don't want to get it stuck in there.
Too big. All right, but we do have we have some clear quartz.
Yes.
And we have some amethyst.
Amplifier.
And we have some amethyst. So we'll put a couple
some
pieces.
Amethyst.
We'll put a couple pieces of amethyst in there. And this could go, I mean, I could imagine this sitting like outside your door, next to your front door, whatever. Nobody's going to notice it.
Hidden in a plant.
Yeah.
In a drawer. It doesn't have to be out to be working. That's something that people don't always talk about within witchcraft. But the things that you do not have to be visible to anybody else. It is more about what you do, and then people walk in and can feel the things. Remember, we're setting up the energetic field for these things to go on and to happen. So
we could also put a rune on the top
or
of it,
the underneath of it,
underneath, on the bottom,
so
whatever
many
we want.
choices.
So to kind of like tell this what its job is, this is what we're going to do. So Jamie's going to demonstrate. Once you put this together, then you need to give this thing your intention.
Yeah.
Your purpose.
You're setting the intention for the item that you want to do something for you, right? So salt is grounding and cleansing. We've got clear quartz as an amplifier. It's the only thing that I really think about it for it. All of these things have different jobs. You just have to pick the one that you want it for. And then we don't have the rose quartz, but for the amethyst, see, amethyst for me is spiritual. What do you think of it as?
Psychic, spiritual.
Mm-hmm. It's also a stone that can represent love and connection and healing.
It has a lot of different things. I always think of it for psychic powers.
Yeah. We set one idea in our mind about what the stone is for. It just makes it easier for later. So now we have our whole little thing together, and you're just going to, before you place it wherever inconspicuous or conspicuous station that's going to have, you just tell it like, as people pass by this boundary, they feel safe, grounded, protected, loved, and their spiritual and emotional energy is on good behavior. That's the best way I can say that. So once you give it that intention and you're just like, and you're done. Now, you go set it somewhere that you feel is the best location as people walk by it. It's in the space. It's there. Nobody else has to know. And you can add anything else to that you want to. If you wanted to stick cinnamon in there, we talked about cinnamon for the healing part. If you want to put cloves in there for the love part.
Rosemary, sprig of rosemary, which I love.
Rosemary is awesome. People should use rosemary during this holiday.
All the time.
I love
rosemary carrots.
Rosemary carrots. Yes.
Rosemary carrots. I love them.
Perfect for the bunny.
Yes. Okay.
Gratitude.
Okay, so color magic. Did we talk about that?
I haven't spoken on color magic yet, and I'm not going to go through all of the colors for you guys because that is just me droning on needlessly. Color magic is out there. There are tons of websites for it, but you can find book references. There's a lot of information for colors, and it's the same thing over and over again. I don't really see anybody changing it up, and but like stones and herbs, each color can represent several different things. So red, for example, is like our lifeblood. It is our life force, but it is also passion and lust. So you may feel that you want to invigorate your life force, but you're not looking for passion and lust. Like you're like, no, I need to be over here just taking care of my health. So select colors, like what you're going to wear, maybe how you dress the table, your decorations that you might have. And if you do not want to do any of that, get cheap construction paper and put it in places that people can't see. Maybe underneath every single chair in your house, you put the color green to really connect with the heart, to bring in that loving vibe of like the heart chakra. So there's a plethora of that, but I want to give you the idea to go out and search for something that's super simple, really inexpensive, especially if you have kids and you already have lots of construction paper or whatever, or color a piece of paper with crown and marker. Like there's not a limit to it. The color holds its power no matter what you do. So that's on the color magic. Every holiday I use color magic just because it's so easy. And I always have construction paper available.
You do?
Always. Like in multiple shades of purples or greens or blues or teals. Like I have colors that I'm sure don't even have a magical purpose. They're just like, I have all the colors. And I just pick what fits for that, like what I feel is the vibe on that. Sometimes writing words, sometimes not. Sometimes just sticking it up underneath there.
Okay, right. So now what about when you decorate eggs?
Oh yeah, the egg thing.
When you decorate eggs. So the thing that I thought,
Easter thing.
Yeah, the most common thing. So what you can do with those is you can put little symbols on them. You can make your own for the holiday, your own sigil, or you could pick one of the runes that corresponds with whatever feeling you want to have inspire, or with the people that are going to be hunting the eggs or eating the eggs or whatever they're going to be doing. I just think, and nobody would know if you put a little symbol on there for, what did you do with the F?
Oh, it's the F with the thing. Fee-hoo. I don't know how to say any of them.
It's like an F like this, and it has a little.
Things are going up.
Yeah. Everything's pointed up like that.
Yeah. That looks.
And that's
like
abundance. It's a wealth and abundance. It has multiple meanings, but abundance.
But abundance is one of them. And that's what this time of year is truly about, is like abundance of life, things coming back.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that a very nice website that makes runes super simple, big cards, easy to read words. You don't have to sort through a lot of BS. We put it in the description of this live so that you can follow that website. It's not paid for. I don't know her. It's just a website that I felt was just super easy to use. You can get right to the stuff that you want to without reading her whole life story, as some websites do. So there's a link in there to that if you're interested in learning about runes or just using them. You know what? Listen, we use them. I don't know all the runes, and I gotta look them up every single time.
Every time.
Me
too.
They're not committed to memory. They're just not. I don't know if I'll ever commit them to memory. I have a set of runes. I have books on runes, but
I really like them for their simplicity, because it's just like it's like 4 lines or something like that. 3 lines.
Yeah.
Mostly.
But with runes, there's 3 things. Like it has the meaning, like from the picture, right? The drawing. Then it has, when you speak the word, that word has a meaning.
I can never say the words. Can you say the words? Because
No.
I can't say the words.
I've never heard anybody speak like that before. I have to go on YouTube and be like, pronounce this for me.
Yeah. And then
I forget.
What's the third thing? So
it's the symbol has a meaning. The word, when you say it, has a meaning. And then everything together is a concept. So you've got like small meaning, medium meaning, big meaning. So that's why the runes carry, like the one we're talking about, it's like cattle, abundance, wealth, and then some other big concept that I'm like, what? Commitment? Something weird. I'm like, what? How do those 4 words go together? I'm just curious. But it's from the sound, the drawing, and then the overall concept of the rune. That's probably why I haven't learned them yet, because I don't have anybody to practice with, just haven't committed the time. But using them within our witchcraft and within our work makes it so we can get a big idea into a small symbol. Instead of creating our own sigils every single time, we can do that with just something that's already been around for several thousand years, if not longer.
So
yeah,
So a little side note, this is not a decoration, but if you're going to make deviled eggs and you want to keep so I have eggshells, and eggshells you can use in protection spells. That's what because eggshell protect the egg. So if you want to save your eggshells, dry them out. I think I dried them out before I put them in here.
I'd hope so. All right, so
don't open it.
So we're gonna. Well, I was just about to say that. Like, so how long ago did you collect eggshells? And who taught you how to do that?
I read it somewhere. I was like, actually, when I thought about what an eggshell does for the egg inside of it, it's like it's protection. I mean, it protects the raw egg and the little. No,
you're gonna smell. You got to
just open it.
No,
we'll probably smell it. It's like I have a snake skin, and when I open the jar, I was like, "Oh God, it stinks."
Oh, it doesn't smell like anything.
Oh, good. So I let them dry out. That was the secret.
I think I smell the candle over there. There's nothing.
Good.
Oh, I was really worried rotten egg.
No stinky egg smell. But that's something you can do if you're making deviled eggs, not just this holiday, but and you want to have some something to add to your protection, any protection spells or jars or anything that you do for that.
Oh, you guys know I've never used that.
I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, I've never used it. I've seen all the hype with eggshells, and I'm like, no, too much work. I don't like it.
Okay.
No, that was it.
Oh, we didn't talk about scents though.
Well, because I didn't truly write anything for the scents because
smells.
Yeah, scents as in this, the candles that you might have, incense. If you want to do sage, not everybody likes those sort of things. So we would have to go through like there's the burning part. You could do sprays with it, but adding in a smell, there's actual studies on this that when people have certain smells in their environment, they're happier or they're less hungry or they're friendlier or they're more grounded or
they're really powerful.
Like
I feel
smells can really do a lot.
I feel like they're very powerful.
I almost said one of the spells. One of the studies that I wrote about when I was in college for psychology was, then this was why it was important because I had kids at home, smaller children that didn't want to like pick up after themselves. There is a study that says if you go to a table and it is clean and it smells clean, that people are more likely to clean up after themselves if you sit down at a table that's already like really clean. And that was important to me. So before dinner, I would always wipe down the table and make sure it looked really clean. And then I observed whether or not the kids cleaned up after themselves. And they did every single time. But if I left like mail or any kind of junk or there was like things on the table, no, they wouldn't. Like they'd leave their cup or they'd forget a fork or they weren't as attentive. And I'm like, oh my God, that's real. That works. Yeah. So if you ever want people to be more clean around you, the smell of the place, like having a clean smell helps a lot. And then having things picked up, it almost entices people to like keep it the same way. They're like, no fingerprints, no footprints, keep everything the same. Yeah. So with smells, find something that you feel is calming, that's not too overpowering, and let it, I light all the candles in my house when I have a lot of people over because fire is protection, it's cleansing, the smells help. Like every candle in my house is lit when I have my like big parties.
I just love the smell of when the room smells of candles. It's just so lovely. And
none of mine match, by the way. Like I don't have 50 of the same kind of candles. No, one is like lemon berry. The other one's, cinnamon vanilla.
Yep.
And they're just all lit and it mixes rather nicely. It's not so bad. I've never noticed that it was too overpowering. Like one smell mixing with the other is like,
no, because when you put them in like different rooms, they don't like spread over the whole house and then mix together like
even
like somebody that put on different kinds of perfume and it's like, oh.
I remember going to the YMCA and like choking on old lady perfume.
Oh no. Okay, so I think that's the
end of our ideas.
That's the ideas that we have for witchy things that you can do, how you can bring some good vibrations into your atmosphere, into your environment, wherever you're going to be, whether you're secretly, whether you're holding a dinner, whether you're hosting the dinner, or whether you're going to somebody's house, you can do these things.
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to say hi to a few more people that showed up. I hope that's okay. But Adriana and Raven, of course, Raven, I acknowledged you earlier, but thank you. I'm so glad to see you here. Kayla, Nikki, hi. And then I love this Dreamtime Tarot. Hi, Dreamtime Tarot. Love that one. We're really thankful that you guys showed up tonight. We know that it's kind of a weird topic and, we just like throwing our ideas out there. I'm full of them. That's something that's Kat and I's superpowers. We can think up a lot of stuff. Doing it, on the other hand, that takes a little more effort. But we're big dreamers and thinkers and stuff.
Well, I think I think that we can always, if we think about it, if we take the time to think about it, we can always find ways to incorporate something from our practice that we love into our daily lives that nobody else has to know about but us.
Yeah.
You know, a dish with crystals in it and a candle. Nobody would see that and be like, oh God, she's a witch, you know, if you're not able to just be out with your witchiness. But now we have Charlotte. Charlotte just joined us.
Charlotte.
I think that Charlotte's new.
Yeah.
So so happy
Christian Easter, a star season.
Yeah.
We're building up to Beltane now. I kind of, once a star happens, like my buildup is towards a star, and then when a star happens, I really let it go, and then I'm like, Beltane. Beltane is so fun. Beltane is the best. I had all of the lighter holidays are good, like a star, Beltane, midsummer, and then we start winding down into all of the harvest holidays. But these are like the 3 fun ones because
these are really fun.
This is
the light half of the year. I think we talked about that in a prior live or something where we talked about this. We're in the light half of the year now, so everything just feels more alive and joyful because we have like longer days and it's warmer,
more sunshine,
and
snow should be melting.
And you know, and we're also just in a different kind of, the earth is waking up, the flowers are starting to bloom, the trees are starting to sprout,
pollinators
leaves.
are out.
Yeah, so all these things are happening, and it's just such a joyful. It does feel magical.
Yeah.
It's very joyful, and it's a good time to be very grateful. It's always a good time to be grateful, but especially when we see that here's the cycle again, where we get to come around, and yes, the earth is going to renew. We're going to start the cycle all over again, and we get to go through this season of it and just really like enjoy, because this is like vacation time, kids out of school time.
All spring break just happened.
All the things. It's just it's magical. It's enchanting. Yes.
We're all waking back up from our winter slumber.
Yep.
So
all right. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for being with us.
Yes. We hope you like the ideas. If you try anything, please let us know. Remember, there's that link to the runes in this description of the live. But other than that, just use your imagination. Just get out there and try things, you know.
We have
if anybody harasses you.
Sorry to interrupt. I don't want to miss Kayla.
Yes.
Kayla asked a question. Do you have any good books in regards to Beltane resources? I'm sure I can find. Llewellyn's. Llewellyn.
Do you want to grab that book?
Sure.
Well, and the other place is they have an actual Beltane organization that you can go on and read about. They're based out of Edinburgh, Scotland, and they put out a lot of information there. They throw the really big Beltane festival in Scotland and Edinburgh. And so that is a good resource. The other website that I love for anything and everything, whether you're looking into witchcraft, Wicca specifically, you know, Muslim, Jewish, Christian, any of the beliefs out there, is learnreligions.com. They write from a place that is platonic. They're not associated with any of the things. So they do not write with an opinion-based
They're
voice.
Unbiased.
Yeah, it's very unbiased. So you can just go there and get real facts. They have references. They have people who write this stuff down. You know, they do have practitioners in these different religions that write specific articles, but there is just such a great wealth of knowledge on learnreligions.com. I've been using them for 150 years.
This is the Beltane book from Llewellyn. They make a series of these for all of the 8 holidays. And it just, you know, they talk about the old ways. They talk about modern times. They give recipes, crafts, you know, correspondences, just all the things that you need. It makes for nice reading and good ideas. I really like these little books. Also, I'm gonna share with you that she's going to a Beltane festival in Scotland.
Dreamtime Tarot just said, I've been to Scotland for that. I haven't told anybody that I'm going to this.
She's going, and I'm so jealous. And I've asked her to like try to take pictures of, or try to
pictures and videos,
try
and
to
do
take
a live from there.
videos and stuff, so that I can put them together and share with everybody. Because like I'm so excited for you.
I'm so
And what's the other?
excited.
So you're doing the Beltane Festival, and
Yeah.
you're doing something else too. You're doing like her husband, like
He put together a
he
trip.
put together some things,
Yeah.
and he knows she's very witchy, so he looked for specific things that she could do.
in
That
Scotland.
yeah. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Believe me, I feel very grateful. I'm very fortunate.
I'm
I
so
love
jealous
it.
too, Brianna.
Yeah. I'm jealous of myself.
I wish I
Are you
was
kidding me?
going.
It's gonna go by so fast. I'm gonna be mad when it's over. I'll be like, no,
I can't wait to see the videos and the pictures and stuff. So please, especially the festivals, like, oh my gosh.
The festival, yeah. So what's really interesting about it is it starts at like 7, but it doesn't end until 2 a.m. And there's nudity and drinking, and you can do whatever you want as long as you're watching out for children. And like they make people know, hey, children probably should not come to this. It's buck wild a little bit. So I'm excited. The only thing I don't have set yet is what the hell am I wearing? I think I need to make a special crown for Beltane to go there to Scotland and not use any of my old ones. But yeah, we don't pack a lot on vacation. So I don't think I'll have like a whole big outfit, even though if I was going for just that, I would. My whole suitcase would be for Beltane. But we're going hiking and stuff. We're going up to the Highlands, and I'm going to see the coos. I can't wait. You're going to have so many pictures of coos.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. The little
videos, so
cows.
I can put videos together and share with our witch friends.
Yes, I know. I'll have to really get up on the Instagram thing. I'm just so not good at the social media stuff yet. But yes, so Kat said that. So there will be a couple weeks where we're not doing lives, and that's why I will be gone. We will have other videos to post during that time. And we're trying to get things out there. If you guys look at like the upcoming lives, we're trying to schedule stuff out to June so that we can get a better schedule. We're human and we definitely forget shit all the time. And we're like, oh my gosh, we got to do something. What are we going to do? I don't know. Yeah. That's where we come up with ideas. But if you guys ever want us to do a live on something or talk about
something
anything
specific,
just
let us know. Yeah.
Yep.
We're always looking for things that we think you might be interested in and want to learn
whatever
about.
you guys need.
Yeah.
Because since we've been doing this for several years now, it's like we feel like we've gone through a lot of the topics, but if you're new here and you want to see a newer version of that topic, we got you. We'll do that. Absolutely. We have fun. So, all right, you guys, we will see you next week.
Yep.
Don't know what we're doing. I think
forgot.
Building Beltane crowns. I'm not sure.
Are we doing Beltane crowns?
Is that
next week? I don't know.
Be.
That's in an upcoming. We are going to make Beltane flower crowns.
That was a request from one of our followers.
And soon, before Beltane. So
like 2 weeks before Beltane.
Like a week or a week and a half or something before Beltane.
Yeah.
So that you have time to make your own crowns. So we wore crowns for Ostara, for our Ostara video, and people just love them. And someone asked us, can you do us a demonstration on how to make the flower crowns? So we're going to do that.
I've been doing it a long time, so I got all the tips and tricks.
That should be fun.
Yes.
All right, you guys.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.